Hi, this is work that I did with my co-authors Michael Correll, Arvind Satyanarayan, and Melanie Tory. Dashboards are pervasive. They operate as the primary portal to data for many people in work and daily life. Yet until recently, dashboards were given little attention by the visualization research community. A survey of dashboards in the wild by Sarikeya et al. Offered a classification of dashboards and highlighted their criticality as a means of circulating data within organizations. An extension of this research by Bach et al. Identified 6 distinct dashboard genres and characterized content and composition design patterns. Research into multiple coordinated views and composite visualizations is also relevant to dashboard design and usage based on a survey by Deng et al. In recent years, this research theme has extended into interactions with data. This body of work has led to an understanding of principles for cooperative communication design in conversational interfaces. The novelty in our heuristics stems from framing people's interaction with dashboards as a conversation. Our dashboard heuristics build upon a long history of design heuristics for interfaces and visualizations. In interface design and evaluation, perhaps the most well-known are Nielsen's 10 usability guidelines and Schneiderman et al.'s 8 golden rules of interface design. The motivation for this work stems from exploring how cooperative conversation guidelines for human-computer interfaces could inform the design and evaluation of interactive dashboards. Conversation is highly structured and organized and can be broken down into 5 states. Initiation is the first stage of conversation and requires one to be open to interacting with other conversational participants, as illustrated here. Grounding refers to establishing the time, location, or actuality of a situation according to some reference point in the conversation, where the blue person here grounds the location and time for a possible catch-up. Turn-taking is a fundamental aspect of dialogue and occurs in a conversation when one person listens while the other person speaks. Conversational repair and refinement is the process where the conversation participants detect and resolve problems of speaking, hearing, and understanding, and provide clarification when misunderstanding does occur. Close is a process by which 2 partners end a conversation by offering and accepting each other's final bids to close the conversation. We apply the notion of cooperative conversation by examining the conversational properties that are specifically relevant to interactive dashboards, drawing from the following sources: natural language interfaces for visual analysis, cooperative conversation behaviors in human-computer interfaces, and practitioner examples of dashboard design. All the co-authors here in this work iteratively developed a set of initial heuristics organized into themes. Each co-author picked a dashboard example of their choice and independently reviewed the current heuristics to assess if they were relevant to the corresponding dashboard example. These heuristics were in turn clustered into related themes and iteratively reworded and clarified to minimize unfamiliar jargon or other vague terms. This process resulted in 56 heuristics. So let's now revisit the conversation states in the context of dashboards, given that the heuristics that we initially identified. Initiation can be thought of as both the state of the dashboard when the user first interacts with it, as well as any other tutorials for orienting the user to the dashboard's content. While onboarding and scaffolds can assist in moving users through the grounding stage in dashboards, there are other actions designers can take to build shared understanding of expectations with dashboard users. As dashboards move from static displays to more complex and interactive forms, there are an increasing number of examples of bidirectional communication between the user and the visualization system. Examples of turn-taking can be as simple as providing tooltips or annotations on a user's request, supporting filtering, or even incorporating analytical chatbots that respond to natural language queries. Repair and refinement are both critical components of interactive dashboard design. Natural language interfaces afford follow-up conversations for repairing or respecifying intent, and the inability to update a dashboard when information is stale or irrelevant with the user's goals can lead to frustration, as illustrated here. As users of dashboards are commonly impacted by the reliance on others, there's often a step of sharing the insights gleaned from an analytical conversation with other stakeholders and team members at an organization. Providing useful summaries and insights in a dashboard can help close an analytical conversation productively. We took these initial 56 identified heuristics and vetted them with 16 expert visualization researchers and practitioners. The user study was designed as a self-reflection exercise where participants were asked to evaluate each heuristic against a dashboard example. Here is a snippet of this feedback for a couple of heuristics. We further reflected on the set of heuristics and reformulated the remaining heuristics to follow a clear and consistent format and to clarify issues identified by these expert evaluators. We also ensured that the heuristics were understandable without technical jargon. Finally, after winnowing down the heuristics to 39, we found that they could be reorganized thematically into the 5 conversational states, as shown here. To evaluate the utility of these 39 heuristics, we provided 2 opt-in homework exercises with visualization learners in a postgraduate data visualization class. The 52 participants were master's students with backgrounds in computer science or engineering. Part A was a heuristics reflection exercise on pre-authored interactive dashboards, while Part B was an exercise to apply the heuristics to improve the conversational nature of an existing dashboard. Here's some student feedback from these exercises. Participants overall found the heuristics to be generally useful for understanding the structure and flow of dashboards as part of an analytical conversation, as well as for authoring new ones. Students also found the heuristics to be unique and unexpected when considering dashboard design. However, some of the heuristics were marked as confusing, while others identified heuristics that were missing from the set. There were also suggestions for considering adding animation and further helping users recognize and recover from errors when interacting with the dashboards. So to summarize, participants pointed out many violations of heuristics in the turn-taking and repair and refinement phases, suggesting that today's dashboards may be weak in these aspects. We strongly suggest future work that makes dashboards more flexible, cooperative conversational partners. And by their nature, heuristics offer guidance rather than prescriptive solutions, and they should be considered in the context of the designer's expert knowledge of the domain and the intended audience. Given that dashboards also support the important role of human-to-human communication around data, we should explore heuristics that address that utility. We would ideally see how our heuristics impact the final design of dashboards or the iterative process of choosing design alternatives. And beyond dashboards, we also wish to apply these cooperative principles to other related forms such as data stories and media, such as designing visualizations for mobile or wearable devices. And with that, here is a link to the paper and supplementary material. Thanks for listening.